I want to ask you a question, and I need you to answer it honestly before this message goes any further. Have you been feeling different lately? Not sick, not depressed, just different. Like something inside you is shifting that you cannot fully explain. Like the things that once satisfied you no longer do. Like the environment you are in suddenly feels too small. Like certain people in your life have started to feel like they belong to a version of you that is no longer quite who you are. If you are nodding, if any part of that description landed somewhere real inside you, then I need you to stay with this message. Because what you have been interpreting as restlessness, what you have been calling confusion, what you have been trying to silence is actually a signal. And today, I want to show you exactly what that signal means. Write this down. God does not send financial increase before he sends internal preparation. I said God does not send financial increase before he sends internal preparation. And the signs of that preparation, the specific, identifiable, consistent signs that appear in a person's life before wealth arrives. Those signs are present in your life right now. And by the time this message is over, you will be able to name every one of them. God never changes a season without first giving a signal. I said God never changes a season without first giving a signal. Think about the natural world that God designed as a mirror of his patterns. Before the rain comes, the clouds gather. Before the harvest, the fruit appears on the branch. Before the dawn, the sky begins to shift from black to gray. None of these changes arrive without warning. None of them happen without a preceding signal for those who know what to look for. And the same principle operates in the financial seasons of human life. Before wealth arrives, before the breakthrough, before the doors open, before the provision shows up from directions you never expected, there are signs, internal signs, signs that most people miss because they are looking for the wrong thing. They are looking for external signs. The job offer, the business deal, the surprise check in the mail. But God does not work outside in. He works inside out. He always changes the inside first. And the inside changes are the signs that the outside is about to follow. Today I want to show you 7 of these signs. 7 specific internal shifts that consistently appear in a person's life before significant wealth arrives. If you see yourself in these, do not dismiss them. Do not minimize them. Do not mistake them for problems. They are preparation. And preparation is the greatest gift God can give a person before a season of increase. Write the number down. 7 signs. Let us begin. Sign 1. Your appetite for distraction is dying. Write this down. The first sign that wealth is approaching your life is a dying appetite for distraction. Now let me be specific about what I mean, because most people do not notice this sign until they look back on it. It begins quietly. The entertainment that once absorbed hours of your time starts feeling hollow. You pick up the phone to scroll and put it down after a few minutes with a feeling you cannot name. Not boredom exactly, but something closer to awareness. Awareness that this is not where your time belongs. Conversations that once felt normal. Conversations about other people's lives, about drama, about nothing important, start feeling like a drain. Rather than a comfort, you begin to feel the weight of wasted time in a way you never quite felt it before. And you start protecting your hours with an intentionality that did not exist in you 12 months ago. Write this down. When a person is being prepared for wealth, God begins to make time feel precious to them. Because wealth is built in time. Not luck, not talent alone, not connection alone. Time used consistently, intentionally, productively is the raw material of financial increase. And the person whose relationship with time is shifting, who is beginning to feel the weight of how they spend, each hour is being prepared by God for a season in which those hours will need to be invested differently. If you have been feeling this, if the appetite for distraction is fading, do not fight it. Cooperate with it. Use the time it is returning to you to build what the next season requires. Sign 2. Your circle feels misaligned. Write this down. The second sign that wealth is approaching is a growing sense of misalignment with the people currently around you. Now, I want to be careful here because this sign is often the most painful one. And I do not want to give you a license to treat people carelessly. I am not talking about abandoning people you love. I am not talking about arrogance or the belief that you are better than those around you. I am talking about something much more specific. The feeling that the conversations in your current circle are no longer stretching you. That the vision being discussed around you is smaller than what you carry inside you. That the atmosphere of the relationships you are in is pulling you toward comfort and stagnation rather than growth and purpose. This feeling is not disloyalty. Write this down. Misalignment is not betrayal. Misalignment is redirection. God is not asking you to hurt the people around you. He is repositioning you toward people who carry the assignment He is releasing to you next. Because here is a principle that I have observed without exception. The financial level you reach next will be shaped significantly by the relationships you are in during the preparation season. The person who will steward significant wealth well needs people around them who understand vision, who practice wisdom, who speak the language of building rather than the language of surviving. And when God is preparing to shift your financial season, He begins to create a holy restlessness. In the relationships that no longer serve. What he is building, pay attention to that restlessness. Do not manufacture unnecessary conflict. But do not suppress the signal either. The misalignment you feel is a compass. Let it point you toward where you are supposed to be going. Sign 3. You are being convicted about old habits. Write this down. The third sign that wealth is approaching is a specific, persistent conviction about habits you have tolerated for years. Now let me explain what I mean by conviction here. I am not talking about guilt. Guilt attacks your identity. Conviction addresses your behavior. And what you may be experiencing in this season is an unusual level of awareness about the specific habits that have been silently sabotaging your financial future. Maybe it is spending, the pattern of reaching for comfort purchases when stress rises, the small, impulsive, emotional spends that feel harmless in the moment, but compound into significant financial limitation over time. Maybe it is avoidance. The habit of not looking at the numbers, of choosing not to know exactly what is in the account, exactly what is owed, exactly what is leaking, because the knowing feels more painful than the ignorance. Maybe it is the habit of talk over action, spending more energy discussing the plan than executing it. Whatever the habit is, you know which one I mean, because something in your spirit registered it the moment I said that. Write this down. God does not send wealth into a life that has not first been convicted of the habits that would destroy what he sends. Because habits are not neutral. Habits are the invisible architecture of your financial future. They determine more than talent, more than opportunity, what you will be able to build and what you will be able to sustain. And when God begins to convict you of the specific habits that must change, when that awareness arrives with unusual clarity and unusual persistence, do not mistake it for condemnation. It is preparation. He is not exposing what is wrong to shame you. He is exposing it to remove it before the wealth arrives and the habit does what habits do at scale. Respond to the conviction. Make the change now in the preparation season so that the habit does not follow you into the season of increase. Sign 4. Your hunger for knowledge is increasing. Write this down. The fourth sign that wealth is approaching is an unusual growing hunger for knowledge. Specifically, the kind of knowledge that builds something lasting. This is different from casual learning, different from the entertainment of interesting facts or the passive consumption of content. I am talking about a specific hunger. The hunger that makes you stay up later than you planned because what you are learning is too relevant to stop. The hunger that makes you seek out the person in the room who knows more than you, not to impress them, but to learn from them. The hunger that makes you treat every book every conversation, every experience as something to extract wisdom from, rather than simply to enjoy or endure. Write this down. Before God releases provision, He releases wisdom. Because wisdom is what will attract the provision, and wisdom is what will protect it after it arrives. And a person who receives financial increase without the wisdom to manage it is simply someone who has been handed a larger version of the problems they already had. But the person who develops wisdom first, who builds genuine understanding of how money works, how people work, how opportunities are recognized and evaluated, how risks are assessed and managed. That person is being equipped for a sustainable, lasting, generational kind of wealth. If your hunger for knowledge is growing, if you find yourself seeking wisdom with a seriousness that did not exist in you before, feed it, read, study, learn from people who have built what you want to build. Sit under wisdom wherever you can find it, because the knowledge you are absorbing in this season is the equipment you will use in the next one. Sign 5. You are being tested in faithfulness. Write this down. The 5th sign that wealth is approaching is a season of tests, specifically tests of faithfulness in the areas where you want to see increase. Now, here is what these tests look like. They are almost never dramatic. They are almost never obviously significant. In the moment they arrive, they are small opportunities to demonstrate the character that the next season requires. A small amount of money is entrusted to you. How do you handle it? Do you manage it with the same care you would give to a large amount? Or do you dismiss it as too small to be strategic about? An opportunity to be honest arrives at a cost. Being fully truthful means losing something small now. Compromising means gaining something temporarily. Which do you choose? Someone needs your help. It is inconvenient. It will cost you time or energy. Do you show up, or do you find a reason not to? These moments do not feel like tests of wealth. They feel like ordinary life. But write this down. Faithfulness in the small things is the qualification for the large ones. Not as a reward system, as a development system. Because the person who can be trusted with a little has demonstrated the character that can be trusted with much. And God does not elevate character. Through dramatic tests of character, He reveals character through the ordinary, daily, small moments that most people do not even recognize as moments of spiritual and financial development. If your small moments feel more weighted lately, if your choices in the ordinary feel more significant, that is not paranoia. That is awareness. And awareness is the beginning of faithfulness. And faithfulness is the sign that the large things are on their way. Sign 5B. The difference between a test and a trial. Write this down. I need to make an important distinction here because most people confuse these two things. And the confusion costs them significantly. A test and a trial are not the same thing. A trial is something that happens to you. It is external. It is often painful. It is the difficulty that arrives from circumstances outside your control. But a test is different. A test is an opportunity that is designed to reveal whether you are ready for the next level. And here is the critical thing about tests. You can pass them or fail them, and the outcome determines timing. The person who passes the faithfulness tests, who proves themselves trustworthy with small things, who manages what they currently have with discipline, who honors their commitments when honoring them is inconvenient. That person moves faster toward the increase. Not because God is keeping score, but because the tests are revealing whether the character is ready, and character readiness is what determines whether the increase becomes a platform or a problem. Write this down. A test is not a punishment. A test is a door, and passing it, not perfectly, but genuinely, with honest effort and consistent intention, opens the door to what is on the other side. So when the small tests arrive, and they will arrive disguised as ordinary moments, treat them as what they actually are. Not inconveniences to manage, doors to walk through. Sign 6. Your vision is becoming more specific. Write this down. The 6th sign that wealth is approaching is a shift in the nature of your vision. Let me explain exactly what I mean. Most people, for most of their lives, carry a general desire for a better life. They want more. They want better. They want different. But the desire is vague. It has no shape. It has no specific address. It has no name, no timeline, no clear blueprint, and vague desire is not powerful enough to drive the specific discipline that wealth building requires. But watch what happens. In the season before financial breakthrough, the vision begins to sharpen. The general "I want more" starts becoming "I want to build this specific thing in this specific way, within this specific time frame." The vague hope starts becoming a clear picture that you can walk around in your mind, detailed, specific, precise. You begin to see not just the destination, but the steps. Not just the result, but the process. Not just the what, but the how. Write this down. Vague vision produces vague results. Specific vision produces specific action. And specific action, sustained consistently, produces wealth. When your vision becomes specific, when the picture in your mind becomes clearer and more detailed than it has ever been, that specificity is a sign. God is not just giving you a dream. He is giving you a blueprint And blueprints are given to people who are about to build something. Write the vision down, give it a name, give it a timeline, give it specific steps, and then treat those steps like the sacred assignment they are. Sign 7. Something in you has decided. Write this down. The 7th sign. And this is the one that confirms all the others. Is a decision. Not a feeling. Not a hope. Not a wish. A decision. A moment it may have already happened for you, where something inside you permanently shifted from I hope things get better to I have decided that my life is going to change. From I wish I could to I am going to. From waiting to be given something to building something. This internal decision